I'll call it. So if you want to record this, find your yoga mode, and I'll count us
Yeah.
down from three, two, one. Let's hit start. All right. We have a nice full rectangle. I love it. Let's start with some breathing to get us, ready. So find a comfortable sitting position that's relaxed yet alert. You can close your eyes if that's comfortable or gaze softly in front of you. And let's take three centering breaths together. So lengthen your spine, sit up a little bit taller as you breathe in through the nose. And then give me a long, controlled out breath. Let your shoulders sink down. Feel the air as it exits your lips. All right, number two, let's breathe in. Feel your chest expand. As you breathe out, plug into your foundation. Feel your mat underneath you. All right, last deep breath together. Let's breathe in through the nose. Then long breath out once again. All right, let's relax the whole body, top to bottom. So, starting with the top of your head, down to your forehead and your face. Okay, down through your neck. Maybe give yourself a couple head wiggles. And then from your neck down through your shoulders. And then breathe in through your arms, so your biceps and your triceps, to your forearms, noticing how those feel, all the way through the hands. Okay. Maybe they feel a little bit cold, but it doesn't matter. Okay. See where your hands are, whether they're clasped in your lap or resting on your knees. And let's work our way back to our chest and our torso, feeling it expand and contract as we sit here and breathe. And give me a big belly breath on the next one. Ooh. And then working our way down to the spine, to the lower half of your body. So notice how your glutes feel against your mat. Then breathing in through the quads and the hamstrings, to the knees and the shins. Okay, and if you're sitting cross-legged like me, notice how your shins touch your feet, and then your feet against your mat. And then just continue sitting and breathing, coming back to the breath, noticing where it feels strongest for you. And doing a quick check-in, see where you are. Were you focusing on your breath, or were you thinking about something in your head? That's okay. Just remember to come back to your breath. In the last 30 seconds or so, I want you to just sit here and coast. Don't focus on anything. Just sit here and do nothing. Let's take one more deep breath into the nose. And breathe out as we open up our eyes, still in darkness. It'll come back. All right, let me hop off the block. Let's start with a twist for our spines. Let's turn clockwise and press our left hand into our right knee. Plant that right palm behind you. Okay, maybe pushing your spine up a little bit taller with that right hand. Okay, turn the chin into the right shoulder. And feel that spine twist. And then let's gently come back to center. And let's get the other side. Ooh. So press the right hand into the left knee, turning the chin into the left shoulder as we look behind us. Ooh. All right, quick breath in. And then as you exhale, let's unwind. Okay, hopefully you release some tension in your spine. Let's get a side stretch. Let's reach both arms up towards the ceiling. Give me a little reach with the fingers. And then plant the left palm on the mat. Reach the right arm over your body, keeping the right sit bone planted. And then reach for the upper left-hand corner of the room. And if you notice there's a bend at the elbow, straighten up that forearm. And then give me one last reach. Get that last few millimeters. Feel the right side of your body. And then let's bring that left arm, left hand back up at the top. And then let's get the right side. So right palm is planted, left arm is over the body. Oof. You can come down to your elbow and your forearm. Great. Okay, it's optional. But focus on how that left side is stretching, how it feels. And then we'll bring that right hand back up at the top. Bring the hands back to center. Ooh. All right, let's get our necks. So sit on your right fingertips. Okay, it doesn't have to be too hard. Reach over your head with your left hand. Okay. Pulling your left ear towards your left shoulder while dropping that right shoulder. Hopefully you feel that stretch on the right side of your neck. I mean, not hopefully, you'll definitely feel it. And then rotate the head back and forth, find any tight spots. Okay, kind of choose your own adventure. Everyone's neck is different. Ooh. All right, let's release the left hand and get off your right hand. And then gently sit on your left fingertips and wrap your right hand over your head. Same thing. Pull and stretch. Rotate the head as needed. Okay, we'll go for another 3, 2, oof, 1. You can release your right hand and let's get our cobbler pose. So, I'm gonna bring the soles of my feet together in front of me. Okay, pull your heels in towards your soft tissue. Let the knees drop. And then lean forward like a hinge. Okay, let's start with our back straight. And pretend like there's a string from your navel to your heels and you want to shorten that string. Okay, maybe every time you breathe out, pull yourself towards your feet. Say hello to the inner thighs. All right, let's do one more deep breath for this one, or rather one deep breath. And as you breathe out, reach your hands in front of you, round out your back. I'm going to crawl my fingers forward on the floor and getting every last millimeter. Ugh. All right, I'm going to sit back up, take off my socks real quick before I stand up. Ugh. To do my favorite hamstring stretch. Ugh. Oof. Oh my goodness. All right. Find a nice wide stance, toes facing forward, legs are straight. Reach up with the arms, and then exhale as you swan dive forward. Okay, fingertips or palms on the floor, looking back towards the back of the room. And if you feel like it, using your hands, pushing your torso towards the back of the room. Ooh. All right, let's go for stage two. Let's clasp your hands behind your lower back. Then reach your hands towards the ceiling or towards the front of the room. And we are really feeling the stretch in those hamstrings. Ooh. And we're hanging out. We're stretching. We're breathing. And then let's gently release the hands. Let's plant the right palm on the floor right in front of your face. And then reach your left fingertips towards the front of the room. Okay, think of the vertical line with your arms. Okay, feel free to press your right palm into the ground. Maybe even use your right hand to turn your chest a little bit more. Open up. Turning the chin up towards the ceiling as well. And then as you exhale, gently bring the left hand back to the earth and swap palms. So that left palm is planted and we're rotating the right arm up. Okay. Eyes looking up as well. And those hamstrings are starting to feel really happy now. Ooh. Okay, feel free to groan. We're all on mute. Do what you gotta do. And then we'll exhale, bringing the right hand back down. And let the weight of your upper body dangle. All right. From here, let's rotate 90 degrees to the left. We're going to get our hips next. So let's drop the right knee down to the mat, untuck the back foot. Okay, straighten up your torso. Okay, rotate your hips forward. You should feel the pinch in your left hip. Doesn't require a lot of movement. And if you want to stretch your hip from the top and the bottom, feel free to reach the right arm up. Hello. That's how I greet my muscles when I'm stretching them. Ooh. All right, let's do a deep breath in and then reach a little bit more as you exhale. I definitely need this one today for both my hips. Ooh. All right, let's drop that right arm. Gently bring the hands back to the mat. Okay, back on the right toes. Bring the right knee up. We're back in a lunge. And then gently rotate back to center. Okay, to the long side of your mat. Legs are straight. And then let's come to the other direction. Okay, rotating back into a lunge on the right. And then gently dropping the left knee down. Torso comes up. Okay, rotating the hips. Adding the left arm. We are saying hello to the other hip. We love that. I love that. Ugh. All right, let's hold it for five, four, three, two, one. Left arm comes down, torso comes down towards the mat. Back on the left toes, lift that left knee, and we're going to rotate back to center. Okay. Toes are facing the same direction, legs are straight. Okay, upper body and arms are going to dangle, and we're going to do a 10 count to straighten up. Doing one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, and 10. Ooh, lower back rather. All right, let's bring the legs together. We're gonna do shoulders and triceps. I'm gonna start with my left arm across the top of my chest. Ooh, just getting ready for some downward dogs. We know those are coming. All right, let's switch sides. So right arm across the top. And we're pulling. Oof. And then let's drop that right arm. Let's get the left arm behind the head, pulling on the left elbow. Ooh. Okay, let's switch arms. Right arm is behind the head, pulling on the right elbow. Okay, and let's release that. Then we're gonna do another neck stretch. So let's do a chicken wing on the right. So grab the left wrist behind your back, dropping the head to the right side. Okay, think of it as trying to touch your right ear to your right shoulder. And then let's tilt the head forward as we look down at the ground. And let's tilt it back as we look up. And then rolling the head back to center. And then back up to the neutral position. Let's switch arms. So I'm going to grab my right wrist behind my back. Trying to touch the left ear to the left shoulder. Right side of your neck is thanking you. And then let's look up to start on this side. Notice how the stretch moves towards the front of your neck. And then gently roll the head forward. Ooh. And then rolling the head back to the middle. And back up top. You release that right wrist. Let's do a standing side stretch. You can bring your feet together if you want a little balance or slightly apart, totally up to you, but stand up nice and tall. Reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And let's start on the right side. So the right hand comes to your right side, gently kicking out the left hip. Turn the chin up towards the left elbow. We're reaching with the left arm. It's just like the sitting version, but a little balance added. And that stretch should go from your left hip through the left side to your left fingertips. Then active stretch, so constantly move. Oof. And then let's bring that right hand back up to the top. And we're going to drop the left arm down, kick out the right hip, right side. We're reaching with that right arm. No bend at the elbow. All right. Let's bring that left arm back up to the top. And then bring the hands to heart center. Oof. And then we're going to move back to the lower half of our body. So let's do Balasana. So medium width stance, feet facing out about 45 degrees, give or take. Keeping the head and chest up. Exhale as you lower yourself down to the mat. Okay, remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. I think that might be more of a reminder for myself than anything. Oh my goodness. All right, let's hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's put the hands on the legs to support yourself. Oh. Ooh. All right, let's do one more static stretch before we do some moving options. Let's do a split leg hamstring stretch. Ascend lengthwise with your mat. I'm showing my left side, so my left toes are facing forward, heels are in line. Let's start with the arms reaching for the ceiling. And give me a nice swan dive over that straight left leg. Okay, drive the right hip towards the front ankle. Hands gonna have to go on the floor, hands go on ankles, shin, whatever your flexibility level is. And every time you exhale, relax. Feel the stretch in the left hamstring. It feels so good. All right, and 3, 2, 1. Let's bend the left knee and come on up. Oh, and then just rotate 180 degrees. Let's get the right side. So right toes are facing forward, heels are in line, arms reach back up top. And then we're going to swan dive forward, down to the ground. Okay. Straight right leg, left hip is driving towards the front ankle. We're relaxing every time we breathe out, letting the stretch get deeper on the right side. Ooh. All right, let's bend that right knee and come on up. Oh, and let's come to the front of our mat and getting rid of the moving options, feet and legs together, stand nice and tall. Let's bring the arms up and do 2 warm-up swan dives. So swan dive down. Come up to flat back, rest the hands, the knees, or the shin. And then exhale, rounding out the back, and then eyes up, head up, reverse swan dive. Until the hands are at the top. Give me a second, warm-up swan dive, coming down. Maybe reaching a little bit closer to the ground. Come up to flat back. Exhaling, rounding out the back, reverse swan dive. Hands are at the top. And then let's start. Swan dive down for a 3rd time. The ground feels really close now. Come up to flat back. And then as you exhale here, plant both hands on the mat. Step back into a plank position. And then let's chaturanga down into an upward dog. Let's hold this first upward dog. So we're on the tops of the feet and the palms of the hands. And get the turtleneck out of the turtle shell. Ooh, all right. Back into a plank. You can do a push-up here on the way to downward dog. And the push-up into a downward dog is always optional. So do what feels good. Don't do what feels bad. Okay, arms are straight, fingers are spread in down dog. And reach for the ground with those heels. All right, let's bend the left knee and drive the right heel down a little bit further. Feel the right calf stretch out. Switch sides, bending the right knee, stretching out the left calf. Let's do 3 times each side. So we're switching back on the right. And then over to the left. All right, last full cycle on the right. And then we're over to the left. Oh. All right, both legs are straight. Let's do a sun salutation. So walk the feet towards the hands, walking, and then reverse swan dive. Hands are at the top, swan dive down, up to flat back. And then exhaling, rounding at the back, planting both palms, stepping back into plank. Let's chaturanga down to an upward dog. Back to plank, push up here if you'd like, and into downward dog. And let's do crescent pose to our prayer twist. So feet and legs together in the back. Let's start on the left side. So float the left heel up into the air and swing your left leg through and plant it in front. And bring the arms and torso up. Okay, left knee's tracking over the left ankle. Right leg is straight, and that right heel is reaching for the mat as your arms reach for the ceiling. All right, let's bring the hands together at heart center and twist to the left. So plant the right elbow on that left knee. Hands are stacked. Maybe looking at something stationary near you. Maybe looking at stationary. Haha. I paid attention in elementary school, kind of. All right, let's return to our crescent pose. So reach those fingers towards the ceiling. And then as you breathe out, let's bring the hands back down to the mat. Left leg comes back to plank, and let's chaturanga down to our upward dog. Okay, back to plank, then sun salutation. So step the feet towards the hands and reverse swan dive. Okay, really working out that lower back. Hands are at the top. Swan dive back down, up to flat back. And then rounding out the back, planting both palms, stepping back into a plank position, and chaturanga down to an upward dog. Back plank, push up here if you're still with me, and into downward dog. And then let's hit the crescent pose on the right. So feet and legs together. Float the right leg up into the air. And then swing the right leg through and plant it in front. Come to crescent pose. Hold that for a second. I'm going to take off this sweater. It's getting real. All right. So we're in crescent pose on the right. So the left heel is reaching for the ground. The right knee is over the right ankle. And then bring the hands to heart center as we transition into prayer twist on the right. So the left elbow is now resting on the right knee. Hands are stacked. Right elbow is facing the ceiling. And we're breathing. We're hanging out. All right. And let's come back into crescent pose. So reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And then as you breathe out, bring the hands back down to the mat. Right leg comes back to plank, and let's chaturanga down to an upward dog. And then back into a plank and sun salutation. So walk the feet towards the hands and reverse swan dive. The hands at the top. Swan dive down. Up to flat back. Exhaling, rounding up the back. Plant both palms. Legs back to plank. And then chaturanga down. Do an upward dog. Back to plank. Push up here. And into downward dog. Ooh. That was a lot of movement for a Monday, but we love it. All right, let's do our warrior sequence with some knee to nose. Just want to give you a heads up. So feet and legs together. We're back on the left side. So float the left leg up into the air and then bring your knee to your nose. And then left leg back up into the air. Let's do one more knee to nose. Okay. Third time up in the air. And then swing that left leg forward, plant it in front. And as your arms come up, your right heel comes down for warrior one. Settle in for a moment before you come to warrior two. Okay. Arms and palms parallel to the ground. Your hips and your shoulders are 90 degrees from your mat. Woo. All right, let's dip back into reverse warrior. So the left fingertips reach for the back of the room. Your right hand is resting gently on the right leg. And then come back into warrior two. And let's do our triangle pose. So with those left fingertips, reach forward as far as you can. Reach, 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 reach. And we can reach no further. Drop the left hand or left fingertips down to the mat. The right fingertips reach for the ceiling. And then we're turning the chin up and looking up to the ceiling. And we're breathing, mentally getting ready for the pretzel. So take that right hand behind your lower back. The left arm reaches underneath the left leg. See if you can make contact. Okay, see if you can rotate the right shoulder. Open up that chest up towards the ceiling. Now let's hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Releasing the hands. The left hand is back on the ground, back in triangle pose. And then let's pop back up into warrior two. And then from here, let's do a little relief. Straighten up that left leg. Okay, brief moment of rest. And then exhale, bending the left knee back into warrior two. And then dipping back into our reverse warrior. And then back to warrior two. And swing that right arm forward up for warrior one. And then as the arms come down, that right heel comes up, plant both palms. Left leg comes back to plank, and let's chaturanga down into our upward dog. Back to plank, step the feet towards the hands for a sun salutation. Reverse swan dive. The hands are at the top. Swan dive down. Up to flat back. And then rounding at the back, planting both palms, step back into plank, and chaturanga down to upward dog. Back to plank, push up here into downward dog. We just did that whole sequence, no problem. Good job, everyone. Now we're going to do that on the right. So feet and legs together, where we're going to do knee to nose. So float that right leg up into the air, and then bring your knee to your nose. Okay, second time up in the air, and then knee to nose. Okay, last time up into the air, I promise. And then swing that right leg forward, plant it in front. Come into warrior one on the right. Okay, settle into the pose, right knee over the right ankle, arms reaching for the ceiling. And then rotate into warrior two, arms front and back. Chin is facing forward. And then let's dip back into our reverse warrior. Right fingertips reach for the back of the room. And then back to warrior two. Give me a little reach, 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 reach with those right fingertips. Reach as far as you can. And then drop the right hand down. Left hand reaches up. Okay, gaze is looking up. Settle with the breath. All right, we're mentally ready. We know it's coming. Drop the left arm behind your lower back. Right arm reaches underneath that right leg. See if you can rotate a little bit more with that left shoulder. Maybe look up towards the ceiling or not. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the hands. Right palm is back on the mat. Left arm is up. And let's hop back up into Warrior Two. And here's our relief moment. Straighten up that right leg. Woo. And then exhale and get back into it. And then reverse warrior. Back to Warrior Two. Swing that left arm forward and up for Warrior One. And then as that back heel comes up, the arms come down, plant both palms. Right leg comes back to plank, and let's chaturanga down to an upward dog. Okay, back to plank and into downward dog. Last downward dog of the day. So really push the floor away in front of you. Feel the calves and hamstrings. All right. Take a look at the space in between your hands. We're going to step our feet there in a moment for chair pose. All right, let's step the feet towards the hands and bring the feet and legs together, dropping the bottom down. Arms come up into chair pose. Okay, palms are parallel. Like you're holding box in between your hands. And then keeping your torso rigid, slowly straighten up your body. And get off the heels and reach for the ceiling. Feel those calves. Settle with the breath. Okay. We're still on the toes for 3, 2, 1. Bring the heels back down. Bring the hands to heart center. And we're going to transition to chair pose. I'm sorry, twisting chair pose on the left. So right elbow making contact with the left knee. Okay, see how low you can bring your bottom. Settling with the breath, still breathing. Very nice. Come back to center. And we're going to straighten up and reach for the ceiling. Back on the balls of the feet and the toes. Working our calves. Woo. Okay, give me one last reach. See if you can go a little bit higher. And then exhale, heels to the mat. Hands to heart center. And let's round it out with twisting chair pose on the right. Whew. All right, getting ready for our last reach. So back to center, reaching for the ceiling for a third and final time. Okay, off the heels. And calves are getting their workout. We love that. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And as you breathe out, lower the heels down, bring the hands back to center. And we're going to do some tree pose. All right. So let's get 98% of our weight on our left leg. Get the right foot into position wherever that feels good for you, whether that's at the knee, below the knee, above the knee. Add the arms and hands as needed. I think I'm going to do the reach for the ceiling version today, but you choose what's best for you. Let's hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the right leg. Okay, I'm going to shake out my left ankle. I know that's a lot for me. And let's get 98% of our weight on the other leg. Getting the left foot into position. This is always my shaky side. See how we do this week. Whew. Just like the other side, we'll hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left leg comes out, shaking out the right ankle. Then have a seat. Oh, taking my time getting there. Getting ready for table. Oh, so table, our feet planted in front, about shoulder distance apart, palms planted behind you, about shoulder distance apart, and then prop yourself up so your shoulders are over your wrist, your knees are over your ankles, and push that pelvis up towards the ceiling, dropping the head back. Okay, and just like every other pose that we hold, active stretch. So constantly push that pelvis up. I don't know about you, but I definitely feel this in my shoulders through my biceps too. It's not just my glutes and my hamstrings. And then as you breathe out, gently lower your bottom back down to the mat. And let's lie down on our backs. We're using glute bridge. Okay, so hands can either, or arms can rest on the mat, or maybe clasp your hands underneath your lower back. Roll onto your shoulders. Push your pelvis up towards the ceiling with both feet. Okay. Knees remain shoulder distance apart. Same thing. Active stretch. Activate the glutes and the hamstrings. Feel that lower back. Hopefully in a good way. Ooh. And then one vertebra at a time, control your descent back down to the mat. Okay, really take your time here. Ooh, love that. All right, we did a lot of strengthening. Let's do some stretching. So let's do thread the needle. So get the right ankle on the left quad. We're going to stretch out our right glute. So we're going to grab the left shin. Let's do 3 long breaths. Let's breathe into the nose. And then breathe out to the mouth. Relax, let the right glute stretch out. Okay, number 2, let's breathe in. And then long exhale. Feel the air as it exits your lips. Okay, that right glute starting to feel real happy. Let's do one more breath. Breathe into the nose. And then out to the mouth. Okay, letting go of that left shin. Let's plant the right foot down. Left ankle gets into position. We're going to grab and pull on that right shin. And then repeat those 3 breaths. So breathe into the nose and out to the mouth. Oh. Okay, next one, breathing in. A long exhale, like you're blowing out a birthday cake with way too many candles. All right, last time, breathe in through the nose. And then as you breathe out through the left glute. Feel it stretch out. That's the whole purpose of this stretch, huh? All right, let's release that right side. We're going to stay on our backs for happy baby. So both legs come up in the air. Arms on the inside parts of the feet, but then you grab the outside parts of the feet. I'm sorry, inside parts of the legs, but grabbing the outside parts of the feet. And then rock side to side. Notice how your spine feels against your mat. And releasing any tension there. Don't lean too far. You're not trying to fall over. Kind of a 2-in-1. I kind of feel my inner thighs stretch out too as I pull on my feet. All right. You can release the feet and legs back down to the mat. We're going to do a supine twist. Let's start with the left knee. So pull the left knee, left leg in towards the chest. Okay, enjoying that little stretch there. Then let's pull the left knee over our body to the right side. We're going to extend the left arm out to the left. You can use your right hand on the left knee to remind yourself to keep that left knee planted or as planted as you can. We're really twisting our spines to the left. I would say it's a more extreme version of what we did earlier to start, but feels equally as good this far into the sequence. And every time you breathe out, relaxing your whole body, twisting the spine even more. Let's do one more deep breath for this side. So breathe into the nose, and then long breath out. See if you can get a couple more degrees out of that twist. Ugh. And then let's bring that left leg back to center. We're going to hug the right knee in towards our chest. Enjoying that little stretch there. And then let's bring the right knee to the left side of our body. Extend out the right arm to the right, looking towards the right. Okay. Trying to get our right knuckles and our right knee to touch the ground, the opposite sides. And that's what I mean when I say relax your body. I'm going to do one more deep breath on this side, just like the other side. So breathe into the nose, then out to the mouth. All right. Bring that right leg gently back to center. We're going to sit back up and come into cat-cow. Okay. I always recommend rolling up your mat a couple times for a little extra knee support, but you do you. So we're on all fours, knees underneath your hips, untuck the toes, palms are planted under the shoulders, and let's do 5 breath cycles here. So breathe into the nose, and then out to the mouth, rounding at the back, press the palms into the floor, reach the spine up to the ceiling, and then inhale, head up. Oh, exhale, hit back down. Okay. Inhale, head up. Exhale, head down. 2 more. Inhale, head and bottom up, chest down towards the mat, down towards the ground. And then exhale, round at the back. Okay, 1 more cycle here. Inhale, head up. Ooh. Exhale, head back down. Then come into a neutral spine. You can get off your mat. Let's do a child's pose. Okay, so knees are about as wide as the mat. Feet are close together. Reach the arms forward in front of you. And rest your forehead and your forearms on the mat. Settle in with the breath. Okay, since we're already in this position, let's add a side stretch. So take that right hand out to the right, about 18 or so inches, and stack the left hand over the right hand. And the stretch starts from that left hip through the left side to your left fingertips. Right. And then bring both arms back to neutral child's pose, and then reach the left arm out to the left.
As we stack the right hand over our left hand, we're stretching out the right side. Very good. And going back into a neutral child's pose. And then come forward to an extended child's pose. Your bottom's up in the air. Your forearms are still on the mat. Okay, let's add a different version of thread the needle. So take that right arm and thread it through the hole you made with your left arm and drop the right shoulder down to the mat. And let's do 3 rotations. So bring the right arm up to the top and then thread that right arm through, drop that shoulder down. Okay. Number 2, rotate and twist as we reach up. And then threading back through. Last time up. Ooh. Now bring that right hand forward, right arm forward. Let's get the left arm through. Drop left shoulder down and reach up. All right. Number 2. Dropping the left shoulder down. Okay. Second, reach up. Hopefully you feel that spine twist in the opposite direction. And then last time, threading the left arm through. All right, last time up. And then we'll return to a child's pose. Ugh. And really thanking the body for everything it does. Hopefully it does everything you ask it to. All right. Let's have a seat with the legs forward. Let's do a hamstring stretch. I think we have time for 1 or 2 more. Let's do a hamstring stretch, huh? All right, I'm gonna start with my left leg out in front. I'm gonna bring in my right heel towards my soft tissue. Back of the left knee's on the mat. Foot is flexed. Arms up top to start. And then exhale over the straight left leg. Reaching evenly with the hands and arms. Either grabbing for the toes, the shins. Okay. And if your toes feel pretty easy, pretty close, reach both hands down to the heels. Add a little bit of extra stretch. Ooh. Let's do a 10 count for this hold. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You can release the left side. Get the right leg out in front. Oh, this one's gonna hurt, I can tell. Not in a bad way, just hurt. All right, left heel is in towards my soft tissue. Right foot is flexed. Arms are reaching up to start. Then I'm going to exhale over my straight right leg. Oh my goodness. And see if you can touch your knee to your nose to your right knee. We're reaching, we're stretching. We're going to repeat that 10 count. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can sit up, but keep your right leg where it is. We're going to add the left leg right next to it. Okay, now we did both legs individually. Now we do both legs together. All right, arms up top once again. And give me a yawn like Philippa or exhale. Remember, it's video. See you. Just kidding. Anywho, every time I do this pose, I think back to when I first started doing yoga. I used to be able to touch my cheeks to my shins. Now it feels like an impossible feat. I was also 19 at the time, so I was still made of limberness, not old age bills and stress. All right, give yourself one last deep breath at your own pace. And as you exhale, reach, get even deeper. Oh,
All right, you can release that. You can even keep your lower half of your body where it is. Lie down on your back. Ooh, ooh, I'm gonna use my yoga block as a pillow. All right, we're in corpse pose. Everyone's favorite. The full body destroyer. Arms are at your sides. Close your eyes. Do a body check, do a body scan, see how, individual parts of your body feels. I'm gonna go for 60 seconds. I won't say a word. Continue to lie down, breathe. In three, two, one. That was about 60 seconds. You keep your eyes closed. Reach your arms up top as you point the toes at the bottom. Give me a nice morning stretch like you're about to get out of bed. Your alarm went off and it's Monday and you're like, ooh, do I want to get out of bed for yoga with Joseph? I don't know. Ugh. That's what I ask myself every Monday morning. But wriggle side to side. Ugh. And then roll on to one side. Rest your head and face on your hands. Your eyes can still be closed if that's comfortable for you. Take a moment for yourself here. Whichever arm is on top, plant that palm on the floor and push yourself up. Let's return into our cross leg sitting position. Ooh. Ooh. All right. Lengthen your spine, sit up a little bit taller. Let's do 3 audible breaths, whether that's exhaling loudly like you're fogging up a mirror or oming with me, whatever feels good to you. All right, let's breathe in through the nose and breathe out with some sound. All right, number 2, let's breathe into the nose and breathe out with some sound. All right, last time. Let's breathe in through the nose and breathe out with some sound. Let's bring our hands to namaste at our hearts, and you may repeat after me if you wish. May you have clear and kind intentions. Let's raise our hands to our foreheads. May you have clear and kind thoughts. Let's lower our hands to our lips. May you have clear and kind communications. And then returning our hands to our hearts. And as always, the light in me celebrates and honors the light in you. Namaste, my friends.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining. I'm so glad we have a full rectangle.
Yeah, look at that. Thank you. Happy Monday, everyone.
Have a
Happy
good
Monday.
Happy
week.
Monday.
Next week.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Bye.
Ugh.